I'm going to touch a nerve ending with this. This is called The Water Was Deep. The water was deep and so cold. I said the water was deep and so cold. Sharks swam in the water, they followed the boat. Sharks swam in the water, they followed the boat. The water was deep and so cold. I need some help with this one, y'all.
Romance Abanze are twin fishing villages, important historical trading centers to which the late Louis Armstrong, the great jazz player, traced his ancestry. Fort Amsterdam, also known as Fort Abanze, overlooks Romance and Abanze. This was one of the trading stations of the Dutch and the English. The people of Romance Abanze are mourning. They mourn, yet they are in high spirits. They await the arrival of the remains of the two ancestors.
The water was deep and so
The Asafo warriors carry aloft the remains of two of their own. What else are they but warriors? Even in a strange land, the irrepressible, defiant, and resistant spirit of the Asafo warriors was manifest in the uprising and struggles of the enslaved for freedom. The symbolic return to the castle is about to begin aboard dugout canoes. Today the ancestors will return to the Cape Coast Castle, that dreadful dungeon of anguish and pain, of darkness and lost hope. Today those dreadful doors of no return will be opened wide to a royal welcome for Tristan and John Carson.
I am a warrior, and I not supposed to cry. But I'm so moved that every once in a while I gotta walk up to my side because I never thought it would become like this. I'm so proud of being an African and being here that I can't even describe it. I am really, really overwhelmed.
Cape Coast, traditionally known as Ogwa, was one of the earliest towns along the coast to receive European adventurers and traders. Before 1877, it served as the capital of the then Gold Coast, but then lost its position to Accra. Today, as the capital of the Central Region, Cape Coast still abounds in buildings and structures left over by the colonial legacy. The most famous of these is the Cape Coast Castle. The Cape Coast Castle started as a lodge put up by the Portuguese about 200 yards from the coast. It was meant to facilitate the Portuguese trading activities with the people along the coast. As trading activities increased, it was expanded. The castle has been described as a concentration camp where captured Africans were kept, awaiting the arrival of the death ships for the journey to the unknown. The castle offers concrete testimony to the drama of human history and stands as witness to the slave trade. A very significant and symbolic part of the castle is the door of no return. It was the final exit for the captives who were then sent to the awaiting ships. It marked the transition from captivity to enslavement, the last point of contact with the motherland. Today, the remains of Crystal and John Carson will be returned to the castle through this very door. What is the significance of this?
One of the reasons we want to bring the body back to the door of no return, so that we can destroy forever the myth of a door of no return. Now we know the door of return, that there is no longer a door of no return. It has been destroyed. Now there's a door of return for all Africans to return home. Those bones from Jamaica and from the United States represent all of the millions, the hundreds of millions of Africans killed in the slave trade. Now that they have come back home, the spirits and the soul of the hundreds of millions have come. Now their children will be able to return. The myth of the door of no return has been destroyed. There's only now a door of return, and Ghana is the gateway to Africa, representing that door.
This is the high point of the Emancipation Day celebrations, the climax. All are anxiously awaiting the arrival of the remains to make the triumphant return through that door of lost hope, now the door of return. The significance of this ceremony cannot be underestimated. It is the one dream that the millions of our brothers and sisters who were forcefully taken away from our shores prayed and hoped for. They prayed for the day, they dreamt about it, they sang about it in their Negro spirituals. The day when the sweet chariots will come and take them back home, home to the dear ones whom they were torn away from. Alas, it did not happen. They died with unfulfilled dreams, returning to the motherland. They died with broken hearts. But today, the children of their children's children, their descendants, quench that thirst, that desire for a reunion with the motherland. For those of us you left behind, this ceremony signifies our atonement for the abuse and your loss. It is an atonement for whatever role some of us might have played, directly or indirectly, aiding and abetting this heinous crime. And for the brothers and sisters in the diaspora, this is a platform to recognize, acknowledge, and return to their roots. The myth of the door of no return has been broken. Let us be aware that the second phase of our emancipation struggle is to free ourselves from mental slavery. We have redeemed our physical bodies from human flesh, chattel property, and our land of colonial political rule, but we have not claimed or reclaimed our African mind. We must be quickened out of the graves of our minds. Our minds must be replanted into the soul and destiny of our African selves without permission or apology. The circle, at last, is complete, never to be broken again. Africans and all people of African descent have a duty to see to it. Never again should we allow ourselves to be dominated, oppressed, or fooled into fighting one another.